I'm losing my fucking mind as we speak. So, I just explained to him the backstory to Dante, not the fucking plot, the backstory to Dante. And then he says, interesting story, but I'm not talking about the plot. Neither am I. What the you're not fucking listening. You read everything and thought I was talking about the story. You didn't play the game. And then he proceeds to talk about things that have been talked about 13 years ago. I'm not reading all of this. I skimmed it and I already had an idea what he was going to say. I skimmed it. He said things, and then he tried to a reboot by definition. Why are you trying to be so critically about this, like about your criticism, and then you proceed to try to judge it by the original, right? Let me slow down. Let me slow down. My mind is going everywhere because I already wrote everything down. He already sees my replies, but I'm going to explain it to y'all. You see everything, okay? You seen everything. Now let's get into it. Let's break this shit. The absolute reason why I went in on him. If you see my comment on YouTube, you see it. If you didn't, you didn't. The reason why I'm so pissed is because he ignored my explanation to why Dante acts the way he does. Let me break this down in the most simplistic terms without using a game. I don't like how you act. You proceed to tell me what you've been through and why you're acting the way you act. Cool story. Completely dismisses it and says, no, that's not why I don't like you. I don't like you because of the way you act. You see how this shit goes in a fucking circle? It just doesn't make sense. He says all this shit, right? And he's basically saying how he's too different. He's not how Dante's supposed to be. Mind you, it's a fucking reboot. When you reboot the series, it could change. The mythos could change. But the origin story could completely set the character in a different direction. Key things in the character could disappear. They could reappear. And yet, as he said all of this shit, he didn't take consideration of the fucking explanation I gave to him about Dante's character, like his fucking character, to why he acts the way he acts in the reboot. And to top it off, the reason people hate this game is Dante and the characters in general isn't because they're different. It's because the differences they make in them are unlikable. What does that mean? What does that mean? You don't like them because they're different. They turn Virgil into a fedora toting honorless murder of a pregnant woman. What are you talking about? Virgil in 3 probably murdered multiple pregnant women, children, men, boys, all for power in 3 because of the tower going through the fucking ground, releasing demons. Use your fucking brain. Like, this is why I'm pissed. You could tell. Like, I just want to yell at the top of my lungs, but I'm trying hard not to. Not even to mention 5, because this comment happened recently, not 13 years ago. You would think he's arguing like the game just came out, the reboot, right? But no, that shit, the reboot is 13 years old. So everything he's saying would be valid as if the game came out, right? But then even so, as the game progresses, right, as the game is out, you should learn the story into why the characters are so different, right? Cool. You don't need to like them, cool. But you dismissed the reason why Dante acts the way he does. You didn't take in consideration. That's like me. That's like me not liking you, and you're acting the way you're acting because of trauma you've been through, and I completely dismiss it. You know what that is, bro? You know that what that makes me? A fucking dick. That makes me a dick. Because I don't actually care about you whatsoever. I'm a dick. Imagine you went through some trauma and you've been going through things. So like, you're hard on people. No, you're just you're serious, right? You can be an asset, but it's for good reasons, right? And I just completely dismiss your trauma because I don't like you. Mind you, Chad, mind you, after learning the reboot, you could still be like, well, I don't like the attitude, man. I don't know what to say. And that would be fine, because at least you're taking consideration, and then you'll admit, man, it's just like, well, you kind of got me there, but now I just, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. I prefer the original. If he said that, we would have been cool. We would have been okay. A majority of people, damn near the entire fandom, has the same. They have the same line of thinking. They have the same thing. It's like a hive mind. They think the same. They all think the same. Everybody says the same thing. They all say the same argument that was valid 13 years ago, right? The reason why I say it's invalid now, right, is because Devil May Cry 5 exists. Not only that, there's reasons to why Dante acts the way he acts. If you don't like his attitude, you don't like how he's acting, but you but if you knew the story to why, then you would be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But guess what? Just like this guy, damn near in the entire fandom of Devil May Cry, they don't care about the story. They don't care about the story. Even if the story makes sense, they don't care. A lot of Devil May Cry games, like, I'll give good examples. 4, the worst story told. It's convoluted. It doesn't make sense. Why is Yamato here? Why Dante doesn't even seem like he's supposed to be in the story. Turn to find out, Dante was never supposed to be in 4. What a shocker, because it never made sense why he was in 4, right? Why does Yamato there? Why did Trish just give away the sword of Sparta for? Which makes Trish bad. 4 as a story just doesn't make sense. It's a good game. Okay, cool. Sound familiar? It's a good game though. Yeah. Like the mechanics, the gameplay, yeah, it's a fun game to play if I'm playing Bloody Palace, not for the story. Sound familiar? Only thing is, for 4, there's a lot of fan service. There's a lot of cool things that are subjectively cool, because what is cool changes, just like with the director for DmC Ninja Theory, actually, the head of Ninja Theory. I don't know if he's the head of Ninja Theory. I'm not gonna lie, so don't quote me. I forgot his name, but that's what he said. What is cool changes throughout years, and that's true. But what is cool is also subjective. What is mainstream may not be cool to some random person on the street. You see what I'm saying? So, by the end of this shit, I want everybody to replay the fucking game and actually sit there and understand the story, the characters, understand where all the characters and why they are the way they are. And then you will actually find some criticism, because don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the game is a perfect game. Mind you, through this whole talk, 9 minutes talking, did you hear me utter the words, the game is the best game ever? No. You fucking dumbass. You probably think that's what I'm trying to get at, that the game's the best game. No, you just don't have nothing to say. You think the game is bad, but you can't tell me what's wrong with the game. That's fucking retarded. That's dumb. It's just dumb, chat. It's dumb. It's literally dumb. Like, I hope people go replay the game, because it's like, what are we doing? Comparing and contrasting is not criticism. There are ways. I will explain. We're continuing. So, like I said, this is how I feel. I have all this information that's sitting on my bed, and I have to tell a fucking group of people outside that just are just dumb. simplistic goofballs that only care about goofy shit. Not an ounce of storytelling, not an ounce of characterization. They don't care about any of that. Cool, goofy shit. That's all they care about. And I have to sit here and explain something that should have been already explained. So I'm gonna have this concept, not rough draft of Virgil that was drawn for Devil May Cry 1, but not put in Devil May Cry 1. But as you can see, his get up is very similar to his get up in DmC. Pretty cool, huh? But the reason why I'm continuing off, right, from the last video, that I was really frustrated. I was just frustrated. I was even pissed. Frustrated. Just like, we can't be fun. Like, imagine like just knowing you're getting your time wasted. You're getting your time wasted. You sit there, you explain a character, you explain mission 2. That's all I did. I explained the mission 2 to him. Because all you have to do is play mission 2 and you'll be like, okay, I see. And then just look at the images. That's what's going on for Dante. It's not exaggerated. That actually happened. Angels everywhere, demons holding Dante back while his mother is getting her heart ripped out of her chest. Dante's 7 years old. What the fuck you expect him to grow up to be like? Like simplistic woohoo pizza man? Like, what is wrong with y'all? But if I was to compare the games, to criticize the games, I would compare and contrast to see what they took from the other games and what they didn't take from the original games. That's how you compare and contrast. You don't compare and contrast and be like, okay, let's see how close they got to it. That's fucking stupid, bro. That's not how you compare and contrast for criticism. If you're just comparing and contrasting, okay, cool. But if you're comparing and contrasting just to see if the games are the same as criticism, you're fucking retarded. Mind you, you can use comparing and contrasting to criticize the game, i.e., it has to be to see, okay, what did they take in the game and did they implement it well? Okay, what did they leave out? Okay, so what did they replace? And then you go from there. And then you have to actually take consideration of the story being told, not the original. It's fucking stupid to think that a reboot is going to be just like the original. It's dumb to think that. No matter what fucking, oh, let's go by definition. No, bro. Let's go by what the fuck they gave us. Let's actually, like, imagine we're reading a book, right? We're reading one book and then another book, and it's a retelling of the other book. So the books are similar, right? So, like, can I read the retelling of the story and criticize it using the other book story? No, you have to use that book story to criticize that book story. Because if you use any other story to criticize the story, you get left with just ignorance, because you're being literally ignorant on purpose, if that's even possible. You're leaving out information. You're completely dismissing the story being told because it's not like the other story. For instance, let me do this. Let me think about this. Let me think about an example, because I'm very good with this example. The best example I've always did was, like, imagine I don't like you, right? The reason why I like you is because you're not like your dad. You see the problem, right? Immediately, there's a problem. Well, I'm not my dad. And then you proceed to say you're life bringing, and I say, I don't care, okay? It's not because you're different. It's because the difference is in you. Why'd you slap me? That's fucking stupid. I know. That's dumb. Damn near. So again, what's wrong with these two? What's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? When people say Virgil's wrong because he shoots a pregnant lady, I'm like, okay, cool. So Virgil in 3 kills a whole bunch of children, women, pregnant women, a whole lot of people. But you're mad at Virgil shooting a demon and a demon baby. Yeah, that shit sounds stupid when you say the actual thing out loud. Oh, you got a problem with Dante cussing and being a dick, which he's not really a dick. He just doesn't trust the like Virgil and Kat, the only people that he's being a dick to. Like, are you serious right now? And then the only time he's being a dick to other people, it's not even people, it's demons. What now? You care about demons? For a second, I thought you liked the Netflix anime. I'm fucking with y'all. I think the Netflix anime is good. It's just, it is what it is. If you like it or you like it or not. But that's not the topic. The topic is you guys carry this emotionally charged arguments that are 13 years old. You guys say the same shit to why you dislike this Dante, which just does not hold up to today because now you have to actually take consider of the fucking story. You know why? You know why those arguments don't work today? Devil May Cry 5 exists, you dumb. Oh my gosh, bro. Devil May Cry 5 exists. Devil May Cry 5 exists. Devil May Cry 5 exists. So what, it exists? You're mad about something that Devil May Cry 5 continues on. You're like, oh, the reboot, it completely ruins the character, blah, blah, blah. Go suck Devil May Cry 5's dick. Like right now, just go do it. You'll feel so good right now. Go do it. Go do it. You'll feel so great. You'll feel so great. You'll feel so great right now. Because you're horny for that Devil May Cry 5 right now. The way you're talking, you're almost like you want Devil May Cry 5. So go play it. Okay, Ghost plays it. So like, let's have this conversation again. What's wrong with the reboot, Dante? Are we gonna take consideration of the story? Or the story sucks? Okay, so like what's wrong with the story? It's nothing like the original. Okay, so like go suck Devil May Cry 5's dick again and then come back to me. Alright? Alright, okay, so like what's wrong with DmC's story? It's nothing like the okay, so like alright, so like alright, so like proceeds to explain Virgil and Dante. I don't care about the story, okay? It seems like an interesting story, but I don't care about it. look at the top. Look at the top. Somebody actually said that. I wasn't this it's not even a plot. Everything I was talking about, it's not the plot. It's not the plot. Everything that I was talking about is about Dante's character, his origin story, in Mission 2. Like, we cannot be serious. This is what I mean, Chad. I'm talking about the kind of character Dante is and the kind that DmC fans are wanting or were expecting. So like, what year is it? Is it 2013? Why are we talking like we're still in the fucking past? This is dumb. If you're gonna say the same thing as him, be quiet. Go play Devil May Cry 5. So we're gonna compare and contrast. We're gonna literally compare and contrast, not criticize. Compare and contrast. Dante, when he was 7 years old or 5 years old, we don't know how young or how old he was, right? But let's just say 7 years old. The original Devil May Cry, right? The original series, Dante hid in a closet while Eva went to go find Virgil and died trying. Keywords: hiding in closet. Virgil outside. Early design of Virgil, as we know, this is an early design. I just want to throw that in there. A rough draft. And this rough draft was for Devil May Cry, the first one. So let's kick off into DmC. Dante, 7 years old. His mother just died by the hands of Mundus right in front of him. Demons are holding him back. Angels are literally there. Like this is actual flashback. Like this is an actual flashback. Angels are all around, right? You got a 7-year-old kid holding the corpse of his lifeless angel mother. This same kid gets taken away, probably protected by the angels, right? And the angels probably, I could confidently assume by the context clues, right? Because it wasn't showing how he got out of there, but the context clues shows that he was probably protected by the angels, right? He was either teleported, flown away, probably teleported, right? To Sparta. Sparta then takes 7-year-old Dante. That's traumatic. He's angry, as you can see. The 7-year-old kid, angry as hell, sad, depression, despair, probably terror, fear, but nonetheless angry. 7-year-old Dante gets his mind wiped by his own father, Sparta, a demon. Right? Sparta then takes his son to an orphanage, Saint Luria's orphanage, that is run by the head nurse known as a sweet old lady, Bob Barbas. That's his quote, a sweet old lady. Then some years pass by, only 1 year. Dante's 8 years old. He kills the head nurse, probably because she's a demon, by the context clues given to us by Bob Barbas. She's just a sweet, harmless old lady. Probably a fucking demon, chat. Probably a fucking demon. Okay. Kills the head nurse, right? So you gotta assume the other kids are probably like, Dante, what the hell? And then some of the kids are probably just demons. Dante, right? And then like demons get start hunting them, so he probably starts killing demon kids. And the other kids are like, what the fuck is going on? This is context clues, chat. Because once Dante interacts with a demon, or a demon interacts with Dante, he's usually pulled into limbo, right? So, to the other people, Dante's just killing innocent people, right? Right? And this is context clues. And this was actually shown in game. But we could use our fucking noggins because we're all fucking smart and all of a sudden care about storytelling, right? So we could use our noggins to fill in the fucking blanks. Just how people fill in the non-existent blanks in 4 to explain why Dante acts the way he does, right? But I'll give y'all to that one because I do agree for 4. Though Dante does act like Deadpool and starts pseudo breaking the fourth wall with Agnes. But I'm getting besides the point. 8-year-old Dante, fighting demons, and eventually they call the cops. So, and then eventually Dante gets out of limbo and he just sees cops there, and he's probably, no, there's demons, right? There's demons. The cops are like, this fucking kid is a lunatic. And guess what? The cops are ran by Mundus. So they were ordered to just go capture Dante. No questions asked. Dante fights off the police, probably. 8 years old, by the way, right? So we get to the beginning of the game, right? Right, I'm gonna just jump. We're gonna fast forward. We get to the beginning of the game. We see a Dante that's at the strip club getting drunk. Why are you surprised? His first interaction with a demon. The demon has this claw, like this grapple that grapples this trailer, and the first words that Dante says to the demon is, "Hey, get your filthy fucking claw off my trailer." What are we surprised about? Right? It's okay, cool. See, back in 2013, the reason why I said you guys are reacting as if it just came out, because when it came out, these things were shocking. I was a kid. I didn't really care. I thought everything was cool. I'll be honest with you. When I was a kid, I thought DmC was cool. I was loving it, right? Until later, 2016, I'm 15 years old. I'm looking, I'm like, people hate the game, right? But I didn't care. I got school, right? Now I'm here today, 2026, right? And I'm just like, wow, people still hate the game, and it's been 16 years because I did research, and it turns out people hated the game for 2 years prior to its release, during the concept trailer, meaning the game wasn't even finished. You don't know what the game was going to be about, and yet we're already hating on it, and we continue to hate for 2 years after the trailer, meaning you're hating on a game that hasn't been finished. So, after explaining, after explaining the backstory, had to chill out. Okay. After explaining the backstory, what's wrong with this character? So, what's wrong with the character? If you ignore everything I said, if you ignore the backstory, if you ignore the explanation, if you ignore all the comparisons, like this, Dante, as different as he is, there are qualities that if the original Dante said the same thing, you guys would be all up on their dick. You'd be bouncing that ass, shaking that ass on his dick if he was the original Dante. Right? Let's say he still cusses, but it's the original Dante. See? You guys would be all up on his dick. But because you guys are a bunch of followers, a bunch of trend followers, right? A bunch of people that just don't know storytelling at all. You can't handle differences. You probably would lose your mind. Like, let's say this was Batman, and these were the same fans that fucking love Batman, right? And then Absolute Batman comes out. Oh, he's so different. He's so brutal. He's cutting arms off. He's almost killing people. This is like he's gonna kill, like he kills people. This isn't Batman. Absolute Batman is still Batman, even though he kills people. He's just a Batman that kills, right? You know why it's so ironic? Because Ben Affleck Batman's kills, and he's still Batman. He's still known for being one of the best Batmans. Nero is eerily similar to these two, actually. Both of them. Nero has almost their personalities, like combined. If you combine these personalities, all of a sudden Dante doesn't cuss that much, but he still says fuck you. You get Nero. You guys are just so stuck up that you guys are blind to the truth of things. Mind you, you could learn everything about this game and be like, yeah, the game's okay, it has decent storytelling. Yeah, okay, things make sense, but I just prefer the original. And guess what, chat? I would be like, cool. Me too sometimes. I prefer the original. I like the original combat because there's more weapons. We probably would have had more weapons if you gave the game a chance. We probably would have DmC 2 and DmC 5. Isn't that crazy to think? But hey, what am I? I'm just some black guy just talking. What? Wait, how did that? This is my argument, by the way.